Well, good evening. So about 20 years ago, in a few weeks, was the first time I met Chuck Bowling. And for those that know me, I came up through MGM through the finance area. Chuck came up through the sales area. And for those that know our industry, sometimes sales and finance don't see eye to eye. But what I will tell you is I have never met a salesperson like Chuck. And I've never met a family and a couple like Chuck and Claire. So Chuck could probably tell you he moved every few years. He's probably coming to Las Vegas for a few years, but never has a person embraced this city like Chuck and Claire. They have really become part of the fabric of Las Vegas. And when you think about whether it's meetings or being a president of a property or pure leadership in driving what Las Vegas is about, there's no better person to represent that than Chuck and Claire. So, as Chuck knows, when he asked me to do this, this is not one of my favorite things to do, but I could never pass this up because it's really, I could not think of a better person or couple to honor. So with that, Chuck, Claire, there couldn't be a more deserving couple. Thank you for all that you've done, not just for the city, for MGM and everything else. Please come up and get your one.
So much. Thank you, my friend. Thanks very much. What do I do? Come over here, baby. We always do that, right? We always skate. Hey, Corey, stay up here and then, yeah. Thank you so much. How are you? Good. How you doing?
Hello, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Yeah. Well, good evening. Come on, sit down. We'll get the drinking going again. So, thank you and good evening and welcome. We are glad you're here. I have to tell you, after the last 6 months, seeing so many of my friends in the audience here tonight means more than you know to my Mandalay Bay family. So, first of all, I got to say thank you very much. Claire and I are truly honored to be here tonight. But before I share a couple comments on this evening, I have a few people to thank. I too have to thank the JDRF board, all the volunteers who have been here weeks and days ahead leading up to this event, and certainly Colleen and Pia. You've been our rocks, and we're very, very proud of what you do. We would also like to thank our parents, Skip and Linda, Joanne and Arthur, who are with us tonight. Your strong work ethic, faith in God and country, stressing the value of giving back, and a commitment to each other in good times and in bad are the best role models we could ask for. So we're very, very glad you're here. We're excited to have our children here, Michael and Jessica. We're proud of the people you've become and excited to see the impact that you're going to have. And lastly, I'd like to thank this really cool girl I met in high school and took to my junior-senior prom. I somehow convinced Claire to stick around and take this crazy ride with me. Through all the moves around the country, you have helped build a family foundation when I wasn't always there. You took the time to give back to the communities that have treated us so well. Here in Las Vegas, you've supported the Nevada Cancer Institute, Assistance League, Young Life, Canyon Ridge, and of course, JDRF. I am proud to stand here with you tonight to have this honor, so thank you. See, over the years, my family and I had the opportunity to live in many cities. See, growing up in Georgia, if you haven't heard by the accent by now, I never saw Las Vegas in my future. Never was it a place that I would call home. But we came to Las Vegas 20 years ago, and it looked a lot different than it does now. The city has literally transformed and become the ultimate hospitality destination in the world. Even now, there are exciting things still coming on the horizon, like our Las Vegas Raiders, the WNBA Aces. The WNBA Aces. And we're certainly riding on the success of the soon-to-be Stanley Cup champions, Las Vegas Golden Knights. Hockey in the desert, it'll never work. See, Las Vegas is on its way through another transformation, looking even more differently than a few years than we do today. In many ways, I've grown up with this city that I know today, and I continue to evolve with it. But more importantly, Las Vegas has been my home for my family, and I'm proud to call Las Vegas my hometown. However, last year, on October 1, my perspective of the city and my whole view of life changed. It started as one of the loneliest and scariest points in my life. But this community gave me a glimpse of so much more. When I felt alone, the city lifted me up. I remember that night being literally by myself in the hotel lobby. You see, all my employees and customers were in the basement. They were in closets. They were in hotel rooms. They were locked in the arena or restaurants for shelter and safety. As the sun came up and the people were allowed to move around again, their faces were confused, they were scared, they were broken. People saw, heard, and felt things that they should have never seen. And in many ways, they were looking at me and they go, what do we do now? Are we going to be okay? From that point on, every waking moment, I was being with them, walking with them, crying with them, praying with them. I hugged more people in 90 days than I had in my entire life. I listened to their stories, and little by little, that loneliness began to fade. See, I found comfort in providing comfort. I found comfort in their comfort. I also found that when I felt most alone among my pain and confusion, that didn't last for very long. And over the next few weeks, what I realized, as well as my team, is that we had a support system that was far greater than each other. That this community would not let anyone stand alone. Even when we witnessed what was arguably the most horrific events in our nation's history in our hometown. So many of our neighbors, our co-workers, our families were impacted by what happened. But amidst the tragedy, what I witnessed was another far more uplifting quality in humanity, the men and women of the city. In the midst of their own pain, they sought ways to help out each other. Grief was overwhelmed by kindness, and a coward act combated by everyday heroes. See, personally, in Mandalay Bay, early on the morning of October 2nd, over 500 employees from all over MGM Resorts came to support guests and employees. Senior leaders like Corey Sanders, Jim Murin, Bill Hornbuckle, to our frontline teams, both on and off duty, simply showed up and said, "Where do you need me?" They made beds, they poured coffee, they answered questions, and helped wherever needed. But it didn't stop there. In the upcoming days and weeks, the outpouring support from the community was nothing short of overwhelming. See, it was a powerful moment. I remember well me walking into our lobby and met a group of the UNLV Fellowship of Christian Athletes, unsolicited, standing in the lobby, offering me much needed words of support and prayer. I remember how I felt when I walked in our employee dining room and there was a dozen golden retrievers from the Lutheran church charities waiting to be hugged, eager to share their unconditional love with anybody who had a moment for a pat on the head or a full-on hug. And our employees taking them up on their offer day after day. We receive handwritten notes daily, buckets of them, from elementary and middle schools where children wrote heartfelt notes that they were praying for us. And then I remember seeing our employees reading every one of them in tears in their eyes. We saw people from the Venetian and Caesars and Wynn, fierce competitors, but being there for us, bringing cookies and support and words of encouragement. I would walk through the resort and see locals who I normally don't dine the Strip, many of you. And when I asked what you're doing here, they said, where else would I be? These are the small things, but they were enormous gestures for us. They helped us to find the strength we needed, knowing we had the support of such a caring and generous community. And I cherished every visit, every handwritten note, and every gesture of support. It's what got us through this heartbreaking time. Unanimously, you heard them say, not on my watch. Not on my watch will I let you go through this alone. Not on my watch will we let this event define us. You see, gratitude took on a whole entirely different meaning for me. And I felt it necessary to thank every person in this city, every person in this room, again reminding me that we never stand alone. You see, the city, thank you. This city, even as we continue to grow and evolve, become bigger and even greater, at its core is a really small town. We stand together, we hold each other up, and we have built a community that cares about each other. And that is what tonight is truly all about. It's a community of people who care far greater about each other than themselves. A community who refuses to stand by when others are in need. A community who, in every sense of the word, is focused on making a change, large or small, that can make this world a better place. It's about hope for a better tomorrow, provided by the caring of people today. JDRF has created just that for so many children in our city, in our nation, and around the world who need a better tomorrow. Their research has created the pinnacle of creating hope, endurance, encouragement in so many homes. See, Claire and I are being honored tonight, but it is us who truly feel the honor of being amongst all of you. We are fortunate that you gave us the opportunity. We are fortunate that you gave us the opportunity to change lives and make a difference as small as they can be. Because isn't it true that even the smallest step, the smallest gesture, when you add it all up, we can make a far greater impact than we ever imagined. So collectively, if all of in this room continued to lean in just a little further and brought one or two friends along for the ride, what a difference we can make for one child and one family. Claire and I are humbled by the story of the courageous children who fight every day. The parents, the siblings, the grandparents, the aunts, the uncles, all the loved ones who support them. And to us, JDRF, the volunteers, and all of you represent more than just a foundation, but seen as an extended part of their families. You see, a family is more than just relationships made up of genetics. A family are those who care, who support, who hope, and who fight with you. And that is what this group, this community, this family does. Claire and I are blessed to be a part of this extended family, and we'll do everything we can to make a difference in the lives of those impacted by type 1 diabetes. And tonight, we ask that you stand along with us and let them know They are not alone. We have never, ever been let down by this community, and we know that we can achieve record-breaking numbers tonight that will have a far greater value in the lives of many. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you for letting us be a part of tonight and everything it represents. We are grateful for this wonderful honor. Thank you.